The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to every one of you. Hope you're all doing fine. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your presence and your patience for taking time and registering in our workshop series because your participation means a lot to us here at ManageEngine. So we, the AD Solutions team, hope to make sure that this session is going to be valuable and you will gain something out of it. I hope that my voice is audible and the screen is well and clear. If not, kindly let us know through the chat. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anu, a senior technician at ADManager Plus, and I'm your presenter for the day. So this is workshop number 5, the last workshop of this ADManager Plus series. So in the last 4 weeks, we were looking on topics pertaining to Active Directory administration using ADManager Plus. In week 1, we were discussing about user provisioning techniques. So we saw how you can create Active Directory user accounts in bulk with the help of the data given to you by your HR people in a CSV file, and how you can make certain organization-specific attributes mandatory without having to extend your ED schema, and how you can standardize the naming formats, and how you can provide Exchange and Office 365 accounts from a single window. And in week 2, we saw about managing your Active Directory user accounts. So we saw how you can update your primary and secondary SMTP addresses, or how you can move your home folders, on how you can archive and migrate your Exchange mailboxes. And also we have seen about managing the Office 365 licenses for your user accounts. And in week 3, we saw about delegation. So how do I delegate certain tasks to my technician or for my HR people, and how do I restrict them from accessing a particular location? And also we saw how you can generate some tickets, like to make certain tasks to perform in your Active Directory, to make them a request approval and execution pattern. So we saw all about this in week 3. We also saw how you can track the ticket progress and the workflow status with email. And in week 4, we saw about reporting. So if you want to get a report of the logon permission granted for your users, or if you want to reset password for all the user accounts in your organization, and we also saw how you can manage certain custom attributes. And also we saw how you can modify the NTFS permission for the employees in your organization. So these were the topics that we saw in the last 4 weeks. And in today's session, we will be looking on how you can automate certain critical Active Directory tasks and how you can configure iOS and Android apps for ADManager Plus. And also, we'll be seeing some troubleshooting tips. So when I say automation, I will be telling you how you can automate certain critical Active Directory tasks. In other words, you can say, how do I perform certain repetitive tasks that are crucial to my organization? It can be cleaning up of Active Directory or user provisioning, or it can be anything related to Active Directory management. So let me quickly share with you the agenda for the day. So we will be seeing how you can automatically provision user accounts as per the new joinee details given by your HR executives. And also we will be seeing how you can perform cleanup operation for the stale accounts in your Active Directory. And usually the cleanup process take place a sequence of steps. So first, you don't delete the user account straight away. Instead, you disable them first, and then you move them to another organization unit, and then you remove their group memberships, and finally you delete them. So how do I automatically perform all these steps sequentially? So we will be seeing all that in today's session. And also, say for example, you want to provide temporary access for users to business data. So usually we provide access to a file server or to some business data by modifying their group membership. So providing access to a group to a particular data is not a big task, but the problem arises when you forget to revoke their permission. So we will be seeing how you can automatically revoke a permission after a specific number of days in today's session. And also, let's say you have multiple domain controllers in your organization and you want to ensure the data accuracy. Now, let's say, for example, you want to find the exact logon time for your user account. So logon time is particular to a domain controller. The logon timestamp gives you an approximate logon time since it replicates for a specific number of days. So with ADManager Plus, you can get the accurate data from multiple domain controllers. And also we'll be seeing how you can access ADManager Plus mobile apps. Now say for example, you have an important party to attend or you have some other personal work to go for and you don't have to be at your office at your desk to perform any operation related to your Active Directory. You can perform them with the help of your ADManager Plus mobile apps. And say for example you encounter any error while configuring the domain in ADManager Plus or any other issues, I'll be telling you how you can find the solution for such troubleshooting experiences. Okay, so having said that, let me take you to the application. If you have ADManager Plus configured at your end, you can very well make use of that. If you don't have ADManager Plus, you don't have to worry about it. I'll be sharing the URL for accessing the test lab that we have set up and hosted online. So kindly look at the chat window for the URL. So the URL for accessing our test lab is admp.cloudapp.net. So the username for logging into the application is admp and the password is workshop with W capitalized. So kindly look at the chat window for the URL and make sure that you log on using ADManager Plus authentication. This is going to be a local authentication, so kindly log on using ADManager Plus authentication, not the workshop domain. So kindly log in using ADManager Plus authentication. So I hope you all have logged into the application. Let me log in as well. So as you all know, when you log into the application, you will be welcomed with the product dashboard. So as a first task for today, we will be seeing how you can automatically provision the user accounts as per the details given by your HR people. So for this task to get accomplished, you need to create an automation, for which you have to go to Automation tab, and the first thing you need to do is create a new automation. Just click this link that you can see on the right side of the screen, create new automation. So let me name this task as create users. And you can create automation task for any operation related to your user account or computer or group or contact account. But right now I'm going to use user automation category and the task is going to be create users. So as you can see here, you can very well perform other operations like resetting a password, unlocking the users, disabling the users. You can even execute a custom script. Okay, so my task is going to be create users. So once you click create users, you can notice something. You need to provide a template based on which the user account will be created. So say if you have attended the first week, the first session, you would have known what a template is. But if you are new to the session, I'll be giving you a quick recap of how to create a template. So template is basically where you provide the basic information for your employees. Now say for example, you are going to create a user account for your finance department. So you can customize that particular information in this template. Say department is finance, manager is going to be so and the description is going to be something, and you can even mention the group membership and all that. So once you specify, this is going to be a one-time process. So once you create a template, you can use it any number of time. Okay, so let me create a template now. This can be a deviation from our topic, but this is going to be really useful when you create user account at your end. Okay, in order to create a template, you need to go to AD Management tab and then go to User Management and then click User Creation Templates. So I'm going to create a new template now. You can see a link create new template, so on the right side of the screen, just click this link. As a first step, you need to provide the name for the template. Let me name this template as user creation template. You can even choose the domain for which you're going to create this template. So you can enter the basic details, or now say for example, you need to decide the naming format for your logon name of the employee. So it can be like first name plus last name, or first name plus middle name plus last name, or if you want to create your own naming format, just click this link, create your own naming format. It will take you to a link in the admin page where you just have to create your own naming format. Say for example, first letter of the first name plus last name. So if the first name is going to be John and the last name is going to be Smith, then you want it to be J. Smith. So you can configure such formats with the help of the naming format option provided in ADManager Plus. Okay. And if you want to select a particular container, you can very well choose that as well. Just click this pencil icon and then choose the container. Say for example, it's going to be employees USA, and then hit OK. And if you want to set any other properties, you can set that as well. Go to account tab. Now say for example, I want to specify the membership. Just click this pencil icon near member of, and then you can choose any group. Now let me randomly pick some group and then hit OK. You can even provide the account expiry or logon restriction, or if you want to provide any logon hours option, you can provide all that as well. And if you want to set any exchange related attribute, say you want to create mailbox for this user account, just go to Exchange tab and then click Mailbox Enabled User, and then choose your server, your mailbox database, and if you want to choose your email alias, you can put all that over here. If you want to set any restrictions or any policies, you can specify all that under this Exchange tab. Now say for example, you have Office 365 configured for your organization. Just go and choose the Office 365 tab. So as you can see here, just click this arrow mark and then choose Office 365. Now you can decide whether you want to create this account in Office 365 with directory sync enabled or without directory sync. And if you want to assign any licenses, say you want to create a mailbox in Office 365 for this user account, just choose your license over here, pick any user licenses. You can decide that as well. Say Exchange Online or SharePoint Online, just assign your licenses. Now say for example, you want to set any rules for while creating this user account. Now let's say when they enter the department as finance, you want to set a particular manager. Just click this add condition. Let's say when the department is going to be finance, so you want the manager as a particular person. So you can choose the manager over here. Say admin IT USA. Or now say you can even add multiple rules for this template. I'm going to add another rule wherein I'm going to state if the department is going to be human resource, if the department is say human resources, then assign another manager. say HR account or any other user account in your organization. So likewise, you can configure n number of rules over here. So I have configured 2 rules over here, and now I'm done with creating this template. I'm going to save this template. Just hit save. Okay, so what now I'm going to do is I'm going back to creating my automation task. Just go to Automation tab. Let's click Create New Automation that you can see on the right side of the screen. Let me name this automation as User Creation. You can choose the category. You can even choose the domain and the organizational unit if you want. Now let me choose the task as Create Users. And now let me choose the template User Creation Template. And now in the location of CSV, you have to mention the network shared path where you have provided the permission to enter the details in a file. Now say for example, so this is going to be my network share path. So this is where I have kept my CSV file, create users. Make sure whenever you create this file, you save it with the extension .csv. When you provide access to this file, your HR people will open this CSV file and then enter the basic details of your employee, and then they can save it. So once this automation task runs, it will take the information from this particular CSV file and then it will create the user account in your Active Directory. And now say for example, this process happens for every week, and the next week when the HR people enter another entry after this particular line and then saves it. Now, if you select this option, select only the appended objects from the file, only that particular object will be created in Active Directory. It won't consider the first 2 inputs so that there will be no error raised. And if you want to implement workflow for this automation task, which means that when this task runs, this will be raised as a request. Then you as an administrator have to log into ADManager Plus and then go to workflow and then review this particular request for creating user account, and then you can execute it as per your workflow. So I'm not going to select workflow right now. So let me choose the execution time. Let's say I'm going to run this automation task every week, Friday at 6 p.m. in the evening. Okay, so you can schedule at the time you want. Say it can be hourly or daily, weekly, monthly, or if you want to set it for a particular date, you can do that as well. Okay, let me set it for weekly. You can hit save to save this automation task and it will get executed at every Friday at 6 p.m. Or if you want to save this and execute for once to ensure that you have created this automation task correctly, you can just hit save and run. Right now I'm going to hit save. Now you can see the list of automation tasks that have been created here. And now if you want to execute it right now, you can just hit this run now button. When you click this run now button, this automation task will get executed. And if you want to have a look at whether it has been created, this automation has been completed and all that history details, just click this execution history button so that you can get to know the status of this particular task. Say for example the CSV import file. So this can be because the network shared path is not reachable or something like that. Okay, so you can get the execution history from over here, and so this is for task 1. So we have seen how you can auto provision user accounts. You just have to make sure you create an automation task with a template and a CSV file location. Okay, now let me move to the next task for today. How do I perform cleanup operation for the stale accounts in my Active Directory? Now say for example, you want to find out the users who are inactive for last 30 days and you want to perform the cleanup operation wherein you disable them, you move them to another organizational unit, you just remove their group membership, and finally you delete them. So how do I perform all these steps in sequential manner? Just go to automation policy. As a first step, you need to create an automation policy wherein you state all these sequential steps to be followed. Let me click create new automation policy. Let me name this as cleanup task. So you can even choose the category, whether it's for user or computer or group or contact. So the first task is I'm going to disable the user account. And then after 7 days, I want to move them to a particular organizational unit. Just click add successive task. You can mention the number of days over here. After 7 days, I'm going to move the user account to a particular organizational unit. Just click this pencil icon and then choose the organizational unit. Let's say it's going to be disabled users. Click OK. And after 7 days, I'm going to remove their group membership. Click add successive task. I'm going to enter the number of days as 7. So after I disable them, after 7 days, I'll move them to another organizational unit. And then after 7 days, I'm going to remove their group membership. Choose the task as remove from group. You can either select the particular group you want them to be removed from, or you can just select this option, clear all existing group membership, so that you can just remove all their group membership. And after this particular task has been done, clearing up their group membership, and after 7 days, I want to delete this particular user account. Just click add successive task. And after 7 days, I'm going to delete this particular user account. So select the operation as delete users. So this is how you can mention the sequence of steps that has to be followed at specific interval. Okay, so I'm going to save this automation policy. Hit save. Now the next step is to map this automation policy with my automation. We have just mentioned the steps to be followed, and now I'm going to mention what are all the user account that should be cleaned up. Go to automation, and I'm going to create a new automation. Click create new automation. I'm going to name this automation as cleanup activity. So you can choose the category, and now the automation policy is to be chosen. I'm not going to choose the task. I'm going to choose the automation policy. My policy is cleanup task. So you can specify whether it should follow the workflow pattern. And now I'm going to choose the user account. I'm going to choose it from report. Just click the select button. Now I'm going to take the user account who are inactive for last 30 days. You can even specify whom you want to exclude the disabled user account, or you want to exclude the users who have never logged on. You can specify that as well. But right now I'm just going to enter the number of days as 30, and I'm going to hit OK. You can even specify the location of the CSV file if you want to provide the user account name directly. But right now I'm just going to choose the user account from the report. I'm going to execute this task, at the end of every month. So I'm going to run it at monthly 30 at 7 p.m. Okay, I'm going to hit save and run. So as you can see, this automation task has been saved and it has started executing. So if you want to have a look at the execution history, just click this button and now you can see the request ID. When you just click this request ID, you can just go and have a look at what operation has been done. So you can see here there are 91 objects that have been disabled, and these are the next steps that has to be followed. And if you want to run it right now, you can just hit this run button, or if you want to remove this step, you can even delete this task. So as a reviewer, as an executor, you can always go into all requests and then perform these operations, whether to remove any of the task or run any of the task immediately. Okay, if you want to have a look at the status, just click this view objects. You can have a look at all the user accounts who are inactive for 30 days, and now these user accounts have been disabled. So you can see all the status over here. So this is how you can perform cleanup task. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to log into ADManager Plus or log into your Active Directory and get the report of the users who are inactive for last 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. What you have to do is just create an automation that's going to be a one-time task, and for every month this task will run automatically. Okay. And the next task for today is, how do I provide temporary access for users in a business data? So usually we provide access to a business data to a file server by providing them a, a member of a particular security group. Now what you can do is you can provide the permission for a particular group user. You can add them to a particular group. But the problem arises when you forget to revoke the permission after 30 days or say after 60 days. So how do I automate such task? Go to automation. So I'm going to create a new automation. Just before creating an automation, I'm going to create an automation policy. Click automation policy. Click create new automation policy. So I'm going to name this as group. Now let me name this as temporary access. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to a group. So let's say I'm going to add them to basic group 1 and AD audit plus. Click OK. So what I want to do now is, after 30 days, so when you click this add successive task, you can specify the number of days over here. After 30 days, I want to remove them from these groups. You can even choose clear all existing group, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to remove them from these two groups that I've selected here, basic group 1 and AD audit plus. And now I'm going to hit OK. So this can be really helpful when you hire any contract employee. You don't have to worry about revoking their permission after their contract period expires. You can always just schedule it. You can always specify it in a policy and then get it scheduled. Okay, let me save this automation policy. And now I'm going to create an automation task. Let me go to automation and then let me hit create new automation. I'm going to name this as temporary access. You need to choose the automation category, the domain, and the OUs. And after that, I'm going to choose the automation policy, temporary access. So you can even specify to whom you should provide this access to. Just click the select. I'm going to choose the report as enabled users. You can even add conditions to this. Let me add a condition. Let's say the full name should contain a specific letter. Full name contains, say, A or AN. So it can be anything. You can add any condition. As you can see here, the employee can even specify the particular employee ID or when the user was created or with any option given over here. Okay, so I've just given the condition as full name contains A. Okay, you can even provide multiple conditions for this, but I'm going to give the full name contains A condition for the enabled user account. So what it does is it goes and picks the enabled user account whose full name contains the letter A. So you can provide any condition you want over here and then hit OK. And then let me choose this task to run daily at say 8 a.m. in the morning. Let me hit save and run. Okay, so let me go and verify whether this process has been taken place or not. Okay, let me go to the request, the particular request, and then have a look at the number of objects. So as you can see here, let me view. So this task has been executed. So these groups, 13 user accounts have been added to these two particular groups. Let me hit view objects. And now you can see the member of attribute over here. Let me go back to my request, and you can even delete it or run it, or if you want to make any changes for the particular objects, just click view objects. And now if you want to remove the particular user account, now say for example, you do not want this ADManager to be removed from these two groups after the 30 days. So this question has been asked by one of the one of the viewers over here. So this is the answer for you. If you want to remove any particular user account, you just have to select that particular user account and then you can remove them from this task so that they will not be removed from this two particular group, AD Audit Plus and Basic Group 1 after 30 days. Just select that particular user account and then click remove from this task. You can even specify the comment for this. Now let's say do not remove this account. You can specify the comment over here and then hit OK. So now you can see the particular object has been removed. Okay, just now go to temporary access. So now you can see there are 12 objects remaining to be executed, to be removed from these two particular groups. Okay, so this is how you can even edit your task to be executed as an executor or as a reviewer. Okay. So moving to the second half of today's session, so how can I ensure the accuracy in reports? Now let's say you want to have the exact logon time for your user account or the number of logon count for your user account. So how do I get such reports when it comes to multiple domain controllers? So ADManager Plus actually queries from all your domain controllers for such kind of reports and then provides you the recent logon time by comparing the logon time and the logon timestamp with all the domain controllers. Just go to AD Reports tab and from User Reports, just click Real Last Logon. If you want to get the last logon time, just click Real Last Logon. You can even choose the filter after choosing the domain. Now let's say you want to generate the report for a particular organizational unit or for a particular group. You can even generate report for that particular group or organizational unit or even for a particular user. I'm just going to leave it blank so that I can get the logon time for all the user account. I'm going to hit generate. When I hit generate, I can see ADManager Plus pulling out information from the two domain controllers of my domain. So now you can see here the last logon time, the logon count, or if you want to find any other attributes, just click this add or remove columns. You can even choose any other attribute, say days since password last set, or the distinguished name, or any attribute you want for your user account. Okay. If you want to export it in the format you want, CSV file or a PDF or XLS or HTML or CSVDE, you can export this report in the particular format you want it. And if you want to schedule this kind of report, just click the schedule reports over here. Just click schedule reports. And from there you can schedule this report, and this particular report will run at the time you specify and it will get mailed to you. Just click create schedule. Say for example, you want to get the logon time for all the employees in your organization at the end of every day. So how do I get such reports? Say logon reports. Let me name the schedule report as logon reports. Choose your domain, choose the organizational unit, choose the category. I'm going to choose user reports and let me choose real lost logon. Okay, you can see it over here. You can even edit it. You can customize the column you want to export, and you can even specify the duration at which the schedule will run at. I want it to run daily, evening at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. And you can even choose the format, the storage part, the local path where you want to save this report. And if you want to get it to be mailed to you, just specify the email address. Let's say, let me specify my email address. And you can just save and hit save and run. If you hit save, this will get saved and will run daily at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. And if you hit save and run, it gets saved and it runs at once. And then after that, it will run at the time specified here. Let me hit save. Okay. So this is how you can schedule a report. You can get the data. You can ensure the accuracy when it comes to multiple domain controllers. Let me move to the next topic for today's session. How do I get the mobile apps for ADManager Plus? You don't have to worry about it. Just go to Home tab. So from there you can see the link for downloading your app. You can see it in Home tab in the dashboard. The link for the Android app and the link for the iPhone app. Okay, so if you want to install it for your Android phone, just get it from the Play Store, or if you want to download it for your iPhone, you can get it from the iTunes. So what you can do basically, how do I configure ADManager Plus mobile app? Just install it. Once you install it, you will be prompted for entering your server name and the port number. So enter your server name where this ADManager Plus is installed and the port name at which ADManager Plus runs. And after that, enter the credential to log in. And once you log in, you can see this page. You can get the reports, the user reports, you can get the computer related reports, or you can even get your workflow reports. All the requests raised or requests created by you or any request task that has been assigned to you that you have to execute, you can get all these reports over here. Now let's say for example, you want to reset password for the password expired users. Just click this password expired users link. You can see all the user account whose password expired and then select those particular user accounts and then click this option to reset password or this overflow link and then choose reset password. Just enter the password and hit reset, or say for example you are going to enable or disable or unlock these user accounts or even perform delete operation for these user account. So once you click that button, you can see the status like this, whether it has been successfully modified or you encountered any error. So you can get all the status like this. Or now say for example, you are going to change the group membership for your user accounts. Just click group membership. Then you can choose the groups that you want to add this user account to or remove them from, or if you want to set the primary group, so you can perform all these operations over here. Okay, so this is how you can make use of the mobile apps. So you don't have to be at your workplace all the time. You can be anywhere. Just go and look at the number of notifications, the number of requests that has been assigned to you. Just go ahead and then execute your task. You don't have to be at your office desk all the time. You can be anywhere. Take your mobile app with you. And moving to the last topic for today's session. So how do I get the troubleshooting tips? Now let's say when you add a domain manually and then you are unable to configure a particular domain controller. So what should I do? You don't have to worry about any errors that you encounter with ADManager Plus. ADManager Plus provides you a help document that you can see on the top right of the screen. Just click this link help. So this is where you can find all the references for accessing or configuring anything in ADManager Plus. So if at all you encounter any error, just click this troubleshooting tips and you can see it over here. So when you add your domain manually, the domain controllers are not resolved. So you get this error. This problem occurs because the DNS associated with the machine that you install ADManager Plus may not contain the necessary information. You don't have to worry about it. You can even add the domain controllers manually. Or say if you get this error like the servers are not operational, please go and check your domain controllers are up, or if the servers are not available, or if there is any firewall block, or if there is any network busy. So likewise, now say for example, you perform any Active Directory user management task. And now say for example, you are resetting a password. And when you do so, you get this error. The server is unwilling to process the request because this can be due to any mismatch in the password complexity. So whenever you encounter any error with any error code, just go to the troubleshooting tips. There you can find all the explanation for all these error codes. Or now say for example, you perform any Active Directory reports and then you get an error report like an object that does not exist or the report is unavailable. So this can be due to any network error or the data may not be available over there, or it can be the reasons like this. So you can get all the troubleshooting tips with this help document. You can always go and refer this and you can make use of this help document for performing any task in Active Directory. Okay, so we have come to the end of the session. Let me give you a quick recap of what we have seen today. So we have seen how you can automatically provision user accounts and perform cleanup activity and also perform some temporary access, providing temporary access for your user accounts to a particular business data. So if you want to perform any kind of such operations, you just have to go to Automation tab, and then there you need to just create a new automation or create a new automation policy wherein you have to specify the sequence of steps to be taken place for your operation to take place. Say for example, for cleaning up activity, you need to disable the user account, move them, and then finally delete them. Or for any such operations, define an automation policy and then map that with your automation task. And in order to ensure the accuracy from multiple domain controllers, go to AD reports and then choose these reports real loss logon and then get the report from multiple domain controllers. And if you want to make use of our mobile apps, just go ahead and download the app for your Android phone or iPhone. Just make use of it so that you can perform your task. There will be no pending task even if you're not at your office. And at the last, you can even make use of the troubleshooting tips in order to overcome the errors that you face when you are using ADManager Plus. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for your participation throughout the series. And once the session is over, there will be a 10 minutes of a Q&A session. So you can put up your question through chat. I will answer you as soon as possible. And if you have any queries, please contact us at support@admanagerplus.com. Kindly look at your chat window for the email where you need to contact us, support@admanagerplus.com. So if you have any queries, please do write to us. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for participating and have a good day. And after this session is over, you will receive a survey form. Please do fill us your feedback because your feedback will help us improve a lot. Thank you so much and have a good day.